Hello, welcome back to Miss Bell's classroom. In today's class, we will be discussing Africa's big 5 animals, and the big 5 animals that we'll be talking about today are lions, elephants, African leopards, rhinos, and Cape buffaloes. So now let's start with lions. The scientific name is Panthera leo. They live in grasslands, scrub, and open woodlands of sub-Saharan Africa. The lion is the second largest cat in the world. It is only slightly smaller than the tiger. Unlike other cats, lions are very social animals. They live in groups called prides. Prides can be made up of 30 lions. A pride usually consists of up to 3 males, a dozen related females, and their young. The size of the pride is determined by the availability of food and water. If resources are scarce, the pride becomes smaller. Pride members keep track of one another by roaring. Both males and females have a very powerful roar that can be heard up to 5 miles away. Males and females take on very different roles in the pride. Male lions spend their time guarding their territory and their cubs. They maintain the boundaries of their territory by roaring, marking it with urine, and chasing off intruders. Their thick manes, a unique trait to only male lions, protect their necks when they fight with challengers. So, if you look here, this is a male lion. You can see its mane around there. Female lions do not have the mane. Female lions have a different role than males. They are the primary hunters of the group, and female lions are known as lionesses. They are smaller than males. And so here's a picture of a female lion. It doesn't have the mane, and the female is the hunter. But since their prey is generally faster than them, they use teamwork to bring an animal down. Lions usually hunt at night. Their prey includes antelopes, buffaloes, zebras, young elephants, rhinos, hippos, wild hogs, crocodiles, and giraffes. And after a successful hunt, all the lions in the pride share the meal. But there is a pecking order, with the adult males taking first claim, followed by the lionesses, and finally the cubs. Lions have a very fast-working digestive system, which allows them to gorge themselves, and then they will continue to eat shortly later. If available, lions will drink water every day, but they can actually go 4 to 5 days without drinking by obtaining moisture from the stomach contents of their prey. So lions are the laziest of the big cats. They spend around 16 to 20 hours of the day sleeping or resting. They can be found lying on their backs with their feet up or taking a snooze up in a tree. While laying around, they are very affectionate towards one another, rubbing heads, grooming, and purring. Lionesses give birth to 2 to 3 cubs at a time. Usually a couple females in a pride give birth around the same time. The cubs are then raised together, sometimes nursing communally. Female cubs stay with the group as they age. At around 2 years old, they become capable hunters. young males are forced out of the pride at 2 years old. They form bachelor groups and follow migrating herds until they are strong enough to challenge male lions of other prides. In general, a group of males stays in power in the pride for around 3 years before another bachelor group takes it over. Any questions so far? Okay, so feel free to take some notes. I'm going to continue to talk about African lions. So, African lions are considered vulnerable of extinction. They are threatened by loss and fragmentation of habitat. And that is it for the first of the big 5 African animals. Okay, so raise your hand if you are ready to learn about the African elephant now. Good. So, we talked about the lions, now we're going to talk about the African elephant. And African elephants can weigh up to 6 tons and measure up to 10 feet tall at the shoulder. The African elephant is the world's largest land mammal. It is characterized by its highly dexterous trunk, long curved tusks, and massive ears. A combination of the upper lip and nose, an African elephant's trunk is extremely versatile. Elephants use their trunk for smelling, breathing, detecting vibrations, caressing their young, sucking up water, and grasping objects. The tip of their trunk is comprised of 2 opposable extensions, or fingers, which allow for extreme dexterity. So here we see that we have an elephant. You can see their tusks, their big ears, they're rather large, 10 feet tall. Here's the baby elephants going. They don't have tusks. Does anyone notice anything else about the elephants? Yes. You can see they have this large trunk here. Good. Yeah, and you remember what they do with their trunks? Do you remember? They can smell, they can breathe, they can detect vibrations, caress their young, suck up water, and also grasp objects with that. So that is very, very helpful to them. But you see, the babies don't have the tusks, but they do have the trunk. And I want you to pay attention too, because I'm going to ask you what's your favorite African animal, and you're going to write a little bit about it today, so make sure that you're paying attention. So, both male and female elephants possess tusks. Although tusks are present at birth, the baby tusks fall out after a year, and then permanent ones replace them. So kind of like our teeth fall out, and then we get permanent teeth. That's how baby tusks are. So here is a picture of a baby elephant. You can see it does not have the tusks, much smaller, but it does have the trunks. It has the big ears there. So these tusks will continue to grow throughout the elephant's life. Similar to the trunk, elephant tusks are utilized by a wide range of activities. They help with digging and fighting. At times, they also act as a resting place for the elephant's very heavy trunk. And here we have a baby elephant, and it's just resting, relaxing here. They enjoy relaxing in the sun. You can see it doesn't have the tusks, but it does have that trunk, the little big floppy ears. really cute. So, an African elephant's large ears also serve many purposes. The ear's large surface area helps radiate excess heat under the harsh African sun. The ears are also used to communicate visually. Flapping their ears can signify aggression or it can signify joy. An elephant's ears aid in the ability to hear sounds over long distances. On average, an elephant can hear another elephant's call at 2.5 miles away. It's a very, very long distance to be able to hear another elephant, which is a really cool characteristic of elephants. So although elephants can make a very wide range of sounds, they mostly communicate through low frequency sounds called rumbling. Elephants are capable of producing and perceiving sounds 1 to 2 octaves lower than the human hearing limit. Communication is vital to elephants, who rely on a social network for survival. The sustaining social unit is a herd of mothers and their young sisters and female cousins, led by an older male. Male elephants will leave the herd at around 14 years old when they hit puberty. They then join a loose-knit band of other bull elephants, leaving the bachelor herd at will to search for potential mates. Kind of like lions. The females stick together and the males kind of go off and do their own thing. Upon successful mating, the male will move on to other herds, and the female will start a 22-month gestation period. By comparison, humans are pregnant for 9 months. When the calf is born, aunts, sisters, and cousins all help care for the newborn. So once again, that's kind of like lions. The females stick together and they all care for the young. In this way, all the elephants of the herd learn essential lessons in rearing a baby. So here is a photograph of the baby elephants. Let's see here, they're all together. Any questions so far? Yes. They look big for babies. Oh yes, these are not babies, excuse me. Yes, these are some adult elephants. But that just kind of shows their herd and how they work together and are very social. Okay. And since elephants only give birth once every 5 years, successfully raising their offspring is critical to their survival. Aside from their ability to learn through watching and mimicking, African elephants also possess other very human qualities. Their great capacity for compassion is demonstrated as they care for the wounded and grieve the deceased. Their developed sense of memory allows them not only to remember lost loved ones, but also to harbor grudges and recognize long-lost friends. Upon the return of a friend, elephants take part in joyous greeting ceremonies where they spin in circles, flap their ears, and trumpet. Having adapted to life across Africa's diverse ecosystems, the African elephant plays a vital role in maintaining ecological harmony. African elephants ingest plants and fruits, walk for miles, and extrude the seeds in fertile dung piles. In this way, new plants can grow in different areas and can cross-fertilize. In fact, 90 different tree species rely on elephants for propagation. Any questions so far? Okay, taking some good notes today? Okay. So African elephants also dig holes to expose underground springs. This allows for smaller animals to access water in drier times. And that is all I have for African elephants, excuse me. So now we're going to talk about the African leopard. So raise your hand if the African leopard is your favorite animal. So a lot of us like the African leopard. Good. So you're going to learn a lot about them today. So leopards are big cats known for their golden spotted bodies and graceful yet ferocious hunting techniques. Here we have a leopard. You can see the golden spotted bodies, but they're very ferocious. Got some, you can't see it here, but their teeth, pretty scary. So they are often thought of as an African animal, but leopards live all over the world. Leopards are larger than a house cat, but leopards are the smallest members of the large cat category. They only grow 3 to 6.2 feet long. Their tail adds another 25 to 39 inches to their length. Males and females vary in weight. Females typically weigh 46 to 132 pounds, and males usually weigh 80 to 165 pounds. Leopards can live in almost any type of habitat, including rainforests, deserts, woodlands, grassland savannas, forests, mountain habitats, coastal shrubs, shrublands, and swampy areas. In fact, leopards live in more places than any other large cat. Leopards are solitary creatures that only spend time with others when they are mating or raising young. They are also nocturnal and spend their nights hunting instead of sleeping. Leopards spend a lot of their time in trees. So you see here, they're in the tree, and that can protect them from predators that want to eat them or just help them relax. You have a question? Okay, what's your question? What was that? Okay, so why are they up in the trees? Sometimes they will bring their food up there and eat it, so the lions can't eat it or the lions can't eat them, which is a lot of the reason why they spend a lot of their time in the trees. Great question. And their spotted coat camouflages them, making them blend in with the leaves of the tree. They will often drag their prey into the trees to keep it from being taken by other animals. So leopards are carnivores, which means that they eat meat. They will prey on any animal that comes across their path, such as gazelles, cheetah cubs, baboons, rodents, monkeys, snakes, large birds, amphibians, fish, antelopes, warthogs, and porcupines. So pretty much any animal that they see, they will try to hunt and eat. And then often they'll bring those up in the trees to keep their food safe. So leopards are ambush predators. They crouch low to sneak up on their prey and pounce before it has a chance to react. A leopard will kill its prey with one swift bite to the neck, breaking it. Pretty scary. Leopards have a gestation period of approximately 3 months and typically give birth to a litter of 2 to 3 cubs at a time. So I see here are the cubs. Adorable. It looks like maybe the mom licked that cub to help keep him clean. They're just so cute. Each cub weighs just about 17 to 21 ounces. And when they're born, they're blind and almost hairless. They depend on their mothers for food, and they don't leave the den until they're 3 months old. At 12 to 18 months, the cubs are ready to live on their own, and at 2 or 3 years old, they will create their own offspring. Leopards live 12 to 15 years in the wild and up to 23 years in zoos. Some other interesting facts about leopards. The name leopard comes from the Greek word leopardus, which is a combination of leon, which is lion, and pardus, panther. Leopards don't need a lot of water. They survive from the moisture they get from eating their prey. It's no wonder that leopards are such great hunters, though. They can run up to 36 miles per hour, jump forward 20 feet, and leap 10 feet straight up. So, though classified as a roaring cat, leopards usually bark when they have something to say. Leopards' ears can hear 5 times more sounds than the human ear. And you see the spots here on the leopard? Those are called rosettes because they look like roses a little bit. Okay, so raise your hand if you've heard of a rhino. Good, so raise your hand if you think the rhino might be your favorite African animal that we talk about today. Some of us, okay. So we're going to move on and talk about rhinos. The largest rhino species is the white rhino. It grows 12 to 13 feet long and up to 6 feet from hoof to shoulder. Does anybody have a guess how many pounds a rhino might weigh? 200? No, it's much more. Much more. 1,000? It's more than that. 2,000? It's more than that. 3,000? More. 4,000? It is actually 5,000 pounds, around 5,000 pounds. The smallest rhino species is the Sumatran rhino, and the Sumatran rhino weighs around 1,700 pounds. So white rhinos and black rhinos live in the grasslands and floodplains of eastern and southern Africa. So here's a picture of a rhino. Do you think that this is a white rhino or a black rhino? Yes. It is a white rhino. See here. Leave this one up there. And so rhinos spend their days and nights grazing and only sleep during the hottest parts of the day. During the rare times when they are eating, they can be found enjoying a cooling mud soak. These soaks also help protect the animals from bugs, and the mud is a natural sunblock. Though rhinos are often solitary, they do occasionally form groups. So here we have 2 rhinos. These are black rhinos. So when rhinos form groups, they They are called crashes. These groups are made up of a female and her offspring. A dominant male rules over an area of land. The male will allow some subdominant males to live on his territory. Females roam freely around several different territories. Rhinoceroses are herbivores, which means that they only eat vegetation or plants. The type of vegetation they eat varies by species. This is because their snouts are different shapes to accommodate different types of food. It's kind of hard to see, but their snouts are a little bit different here. For example, the black rhino eats trees or bushes because its long lips allow it to pick leaves and fruit from up high, whereas the white rhino has a flat shaped snout that lets it get closer to the ground for eating grass. You see here, it's eating the grass, it can go closer, and it's able to do that. And they're a little bit longer and it's able to reach, those lips are able to reach into trees and eat fruit. Every 2.5 to 5 years, a female rhino will reproduce. Female rhinos carry their young for a gestation period of 15 to 16 months. They usually only have one baby at a time, though they do sometimes have twins. At birth, baby rhinos, which are called calves, are still quite big, at 88 to 140 pounds. Here we have a baby rhino. So you can see that it doesn't have the horns like this rhino does, but eventually they will develop. So at around 3 years old, the calves will set out on its own. Right over here. A rhino can live up to 45 years. Other interesting rhino facts. Though rhinos don't often hang out with each other, they do hang out with birds. The oxpecker will sit on a rhino's back and eat the bugs that crawl on the rhino's skin. That's not the only thing the bird is good for. When danger approaches, the bird will call out, warning the rhino. So when rhinos are happy, they make a loud mwonk sound with their mouths. So can you say mwonk, mwonk? Good. So black rhinos are not actually black. They probably got that name from the dark, muddy soil they like to wallow in, or distinguish them from white rhinos. Poachers also value rhino horns for making ornamental dagger handles called jambayas. So this type of handle became a status symbol in Yemen in the 1970s and 80s. The woolly rhino died out about 10,000 years ago, and fossils have been discovered throughout Europe and Asia. Early humans hunted these animals, and they were depicted into paintings on cave walls in France 30,000 years ago. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's have a little snack break before we start talking about the Cape buffalo. Okay, so go ahead and have a break. Okay, welcome back from snack break. Please put your snacks away. We are going to continue to talk about African animals, and we will be talking about the Cape buffalo. So raise your hand if you've heard of the Cape buffalo. Some of us have. Raise your hand if you think this will be your favorite African animal that we talk about today. Good, okay. so make sure to take some good notes. So, Cape buffalo is also called African buffalo, the largest and most formidable of Africa's wild bovids, and a familiar sight to visitors of African parks and reserves. The Cape buffalo is the only member of the buffalo and cattle tribe, Bovini, that occurs naturally in Africa. So here is a picture of a Cape buffalo, and it's not very tall. It stands only 51 to 59 inches tall, and it has relatively short legs, but it is massive, weighing about 935 to 1,900 pounds. Bulls, the males, are about 220 pounds heavier than cows, the females. Put this here. One of the most successful of Africa's wild cattle, the Cape buffalo thrives in virtually all types of grassland habitat in sub-Saharan Africa, from dry savanna to swamp, and from lowland floodplains to montane mixed forest and glades, as long as it is within commuting distance of water. It is immune to some diseases that affect domestic cattle in Africa, in particular the bovine sleeping sickness, Nagana, transmitted by the tsetse flies. To sustain its bulk, the Cape buffalo must eat a lot of grass, and therefore it depends more on quantity than quality. It is able to digest coarser grass than most other cattle. It has a wide muzzle and a row of incisor teeth that are able to take it big bites. You can kind of see, you can't see the teeth, but it does have that wide muzzle that it's able to take really big bites of food. When grass is scarce or of too poor quality, buffaloes will browse woody vegetation. The largest populations occur in well-watered savannas, notably on floodplains bordering major rivers and lakes. Extremely gregarious buffaloes are one of the few African cattle that like touching. Herds include both sexes and live in traditional exclusive home ranges. See, here is a herd of buffalo. So, clans of related females and offspring associates and subgroups. A male dominance hierarchy determines which bulls breed. Calves are born year-round after a 9-month gestation, kind of like humans. Herds are also cooperatively defend members. They put to flight and even kill lions when aroused by distress calls. Okay, so that wraps up our African animals lesson today. So please go ahead and take out your notebook and a pencil, because we are going to do a pop quiz. Okay, so write number 1 through 10, and then go ahead and write your answer down on your notebook. Is everyone ready? Okay, I'll give you a few more seconds. Okay, number 1. What is the scientific name for a lion? And you can use your notes if you forgot. Number 2, how many hours a day does a lion sleep for? Number 3, how much does an African elephant weigh? way? Number 4, leopards can hear how many times more sounds than humans? Number 5, what is the largest rhino species? Number 6, how long do rhinos live? Number 7, what is a noise that a rhino makes? Number 8, how many months are Cape buffalo pregnant for? Number 9, what is the name of the bird that eats bugs off of a rhino's back? And number 10, how long are leopards pregnant for? Okay, does anyone need me to repeat any questions? Yes. Number 4, leopards can hear how many times more sounds than humans? Any others? Okay, let's go ahead and go over the answers. So please take out a pen and check your work, and then write down the correct answer if you got it wrong, or just leave it blank if you got it correct. Number 1, what is the scientific name for a lion? It is the Panthera leo. Number 2, how many hours a day does a lion sleep for? 16 to 20 hours. Number 3, how much does an African elephant weigh? 6 tons. Number 4, leopards can hear how many more sounds than humans? 5 times more sounds than humans. Number 5, what is the largest rhino species? The white rhino. Number 6, how long do rhinos live? Around 45 years. Number 7, what is a noise that a rhino makes? It is mwonk. Number 8, how many months are Cape buffalo pregnant for? 9 months. Number 9, what is the name of the bird that eats bugs off of a rhino's back? An oxpecker. And number 10, how long are leopards pregnant for? 3 months. So go ahead and grade your quiz and write how many you got, and then turn those in. And then I hope that you enjoyed learning about Africa's 5 big animals. Good night.